You know what I like about the phone? They provide us with a reliable means of finding a destination. And I found a map of the human spiritual body that does the same thing. And these maps were composed of symbols. And the one symbol is the chakras shown here, represented by the person sitting. And the other symbol is the menorah. When you turn the menorah sideways, the branches map the interrelationships between the chakras. And then this other map piece has this crop circle shown here. When you put it over a guy sitting, this map shows the energetic operation of the chakras. So ChakraKey provides us with all this information we can use to self-realize our human spiritual nature, our human spiritual design. And this is so important for us, and it's such a big deal. And without this information, we would never figure out who we are. We would be stuck in the body. And it's so key for us to realize that the body is a vehicle for the expression of spirit. And the way we express ourselves is relative to our level of consciousness. It's like what we understand we can do. You're not going to go design a building if you're not familiar with architecture. And so what this information provides us with is a easy to understand map so that we can locate different aspects of our chakra system within our structure. And the idea about being able to locate this information is provides us with a framework we can use to understand something very complex, because we are complex. So the idea is that when we have a framework to understanding, okay, well, I'm made with this 7, it's actually 9 levels of consciousness, which we can go into. But within this, I can understand myself as a, primarily I want to survive. And the idea is that who I am as a multi-dimensional being, I want to do a lot of things all the time. I have all this capacity to act in all kinds of ways. I mean, in a way, life is the palette, and how we traverse life, what we do in life, becomes the painting that we paint of our life. And so the idea that the more we understand ourselves and our natural programming as we come into the world, we're all loving, we're kind, you know, granted we want food and stuff when we come in, but basically life is this beautiful, wonderful experience. And what happens is it can get complicated in life as it becomes competitive, and as we have in our world today. The idea here is that we have a map we can use to understand ourselves as a multidimensional being. And I mentioned that once before. But the idea that we have this at the very base of our programming, we want to survive. There's a lot of information associated with our survival, such as, do I have food, water, shelter? Is everything healthy and safe to eat? Am I going to be healthy tomorrow? You know, even my family. So a lot of things associated with this root chakra is the fundamental basis of who we are. And we do courses here where you can kind of dig into this aspect of your root chakra as it is uniquely yours. Because we all have come from unique places, we have unique problems and issues and things we face. And so the idea is that as community, we would have a common understanding of the issues we face, of who we are. We're physical beings, divine bodies, spiritual beings and physical bodies. And the more we understand ourselves and the more we're able to navigate life in a way that is honoring one another, it's honoring myself, it's more fun, I'm integral with who I am, and it's the idea that we are all unique snowflakes. Every one of us is different. And in that way, we're kind of like unique flowers in our Creator's garden. And the role of community is to grow all the flowers in our garden and let all the flowers bud and blossom into their unique beauty of who they are. And that's when we have true, kind of, I guess, heaven on earth, is when we have this consciousness of realizing who we are and how we're all so unique, and we help each other to come into our uniqueness. We're not here to play Monopoly. We're not here to see how much money we can make or this corporate thing or hurt anybody in any kind of military. This is not who we are. We are made with love at the core of who we are. We're all lovers. And within this understanding, because we also, too, we have this physical body represented by the lower chakras, this higher consciousness represented by the upper chakras, and our willpower comes in to these, willpower for the lower chakras comes in the lower heart, willpower for upper chakras comes into the upper heart. And this is where alchemy happens. This is where you weigh all things. You say, well, I want that gallon of ice cream, but then willpower says, well, wait a minute, you're lactose intolerant or whatever. And the idea that the color of our consciousness is what we decide on. For instance, if it's that ice cream and sacral wins out, as sacral's having this ice cream, it's kind of, we become kind of a yellow color, orange color. So we become the color of our consciousness. And we can see this with certain cameras and everything. That's so amazing. So this idea that we are a multidimensional, a mini multicolored mechanism, and we express out of our heart the color that's our dominant energy. And if you've ever seen an aura field or something, you'll see that people have, green auras and yellow auras, and it's different places. And it all happens by virtue of our attention, basically. And that's the thing about how we control ourselves is through our attention, but it's also through just understanding, okay, what's going on, how am I going to respond? Because I'm in this dynamic world, I'm this dynamic being, a completely engineered species, designed to be able to weigh all the issues of life in a loving way and to be a master of my life and what I do. So I'm not just stumbling through life, because I'm horny or I want more money or I'm this or that or I don't have a home. So there's the idea that, for community especially, is that we would be confident to love one another knowing that we are aware of what's going on. Oh, I know who I am. I'm just this loving guy, and we understand who we are, therefore we can love one another. Because the problem with love, this concept of love, is it takes trust to love somebody. And if you can't trust someone, you kind of can't love them. And so this is where it's imperative that we as community have a common understanding of who we are, why we're here, rules for the road, what's okay, what's not okay, what's ideal behavior, how do we take care of one another as honorable beings. Nobody has to sleep on the side of the road. We take care of all the flowers. And our goal is to create a loving world. And that's what we do. We feed loving ideas. We do loving things. What we do is, with this information, we're able to access our highest consciousness. Because it's, the decisions we make are based on our construction. There's an old architectural term, form follows function. Within who we are, our function follows our form. Because as we are formed, we're formed in such a way that physicality, we want to survive, and sexual pleasure, power. So we're formed in this way, but we have this natural drive for that. But we also have this higher consciousness that we bring to our world through understanding, seeing, and managing this whole beautiful body of ours. And then we have this large heart chakra complex that wants to be this expression of love. So when you look at the human as who we are and how we're designed, what these symbols show us is that we are designed to be a high conscious expression of love and very creative. And it's also amazing, these bodies, because when we're in a creative mode, and the creative brow chakra is creativity, drops into the sacral chakra, so we get that gut intuition. And when that's combined with the solar plex, we're doing something that feels good, it's powerful, and we feel awesome. And so I know I kind of fell off the wagon on the subject I was talking a little bit ago. Apologies for that. I tend to kind of just go with the flow on it. So the idea, the big idea here, why it's important for you, is that this provides us with a little map we can use to locate these energetic centers in our structure. And then from there, once we say, okay, I'm getting this, then we can further understand our nature, as far as this concept of survival as being a hierarchy of importance. Like when it comes to what we're doing in life, we want to make sure that we're able to sleep and we got food. So this thing about survival is really the main thing for us to keep in mind. Say we have these things in place, it's all cool. We want to work our way up into the sacral chakra, which is pretty much what we all live for. We live for pleasure. And we're at a state in our evolution where we're able to experience a lot of pleasure. When you think about food, and whether it's flowers or pleasures of a nice comfortable bed to sleep in, or sexual energies. We live in a world that has so much pleasure that, again, it needs to be managed up here by this brow chakra. And without having this alternate energies, like the brow, the sacral to the brow, one energy would take over. And fundamental to this, to who you are, to who we are energetic beings. And energetic beings is about spinning energy. It's much like the yin and yang symbol, where everything's spinning. And when you further understanding of each chakra, we need to see that each chakra is a center of consciousness that's spinning. And like, for instance, the root chakra, while it wants to survive, it also wants satisfaction. So you have these tension on these things. But this is as designed by our Creator. And again, when we understand this, then we have a greater power over ourselves, because we understand our natural tendencies, our natural nature, and then how to resolve things that might seemingly be unresolvable. So we've got spinning energies here, we have a spinning energy here, like everything is accumulating from this lower chakras. About that ice cream, I really want it. And then we also have this energy here, so we've got everything coming in here and here, and then this energy around the heart chakra, bathes us in the consciousness of that which we want, the dominant energy. And that's kind of shows us, it gives us a mental construct we can use to contemplate how our energy system works. This gives us a picture of something we can't see, of course. So the idea about self-awareness and about self-understanding, self-realization is it's the most fundamental thing we can do in life, is to really figure this out. And ChakraKey provides us with a framework for understanding yourself on these different levels. Okay, I'm just going to continue up. Sacral chakra likes pleasure a lot. Solar plex wants power. And this all works together, because if we're going to have a place to sleep and to be able to have pleasure, we need to have a power. So it's all part of this lower package that requires, takes a lot of our attention. And ultimately, we don't want to have our friends have to struggle for this. Picture breaks my heart when you think about a father who doesn't have any milk for the baby and would go to the store and have to steal milk or something to feed his child. And that happens all the time. There's a lot of tragic things that are going on because of the game we're in right now, which is so intense about you got to make it on your own, buddy, and you live and die on your own. And it's not the way it is. We are a community. We want all the flowers to grow. We want everything to be functional and to be loving and kind and believe in one another, because that's pro-survival. We want to survive and we want to thrive. Okay, so going on up, solar plex, now that's is governed by our throat chakra, which is so key because we want to speak the truth. We want to connect. But it's also associated with our conscience. And here's an area that we want to expand our understanding of our conscience. What's okay? What's the law? What's not okay? You know, it's important to be patient once in a while. That's part of our conscience. So you have a lot of information here, and the courses involve expanding on this a lot. So we understand that the value of this planting the seed with what we do in our life. And that's really our power. It's not here, it's in what we do every day. It's the givingness, the energy we put out into the world. Okay, so, and the heart chakra. And not shown here, there's another version of the menorah that shows a branch for right here. So each of these have branches too. And they're really strong ones because, you know, one of the most beautiful things in life is how we feel. And we feel so much when you put your hand in your upper heart chakra, for instance. So the heart is a study. It's the complex. Again, how I said, as far as bringing energies in. The energies just don't go up and down in a random way. Everything's spinning and everything spins into here, then we're this expression of what that is. And so it's awesome. Okay, so the throat chakra, as I mentioned, has to do with our conscience, universal laws of nature, speaking the truth, connecting. It's also this beautiful thing about we're able to be the voice of God. When you think it's bringing the crown chakra into your throat chakra, I mean, this is so beautiful. Even watching some musicians play the piano or play music, how we are able to be this channel. We just bring it in. And the idea here is that we are magic. We are little fingers of the divine here on earth. And the more we understand this, the more we access that. Because again, it's about your attention. Where's your attention going? Is it just on survival things, or are we pondering higher aspirations, how I can be a better artist or be more effective in the world or be more loving, sort of a thing? Okay, so going on up to the brow chakra. And the brow chakra is this another level of consciousness that's so key, because within our brow is how we see. It's like we see within, we see without. It's our command center, it's our center of intuition. It's like it all happens in the brow. And this center, we're able to feel into the center through this connection in our sacral, when we have to say, like, well, do I want to do this, or is this good for me, is this not? And then you can feel into your sacral and say, is that uh-huh or uh-uh? And if it's a no, then it's no, you don't do it. Or if it's uh-huh, it's hell yes, sort of a thing. So you get a big uh-huh. So there's ways that you can feel for the truth, whether something's okay or not. And so then the other one here, so important, is the crown chakra, which has really been a source of confusion. Because imagine this, we're kind of like this cell phone. We have an antenna. I think it's helpful to think of it like an antenna, that we're connected to the divine all the time. We're always plugged into this universal consciousness. And when we understand that and we believe that, we open the door to that, and we're in meditation, we're in prayer, we're contemplation, we're bringing our issues into the divine. And that is our power. That's acting on our power. And when we are brought up with a lot of things that aren't true about God, or we don't understand things, we tend to not open the door and not even pray or meditate or do anything. And this, from a very high level, is damaging to us, in that we don't go there, we don't open that door, we don't take advantage of that. And therefore, we're not getting the energy, we're not getting the joy. And so, with all these centers of consciousness, we're able to physically experience them when we're in the presence of the precise frequency for the chakras. And I do a little event where I play the frequency in music, and it shows you how to feel that energy. And you can feel it as subtle energy in your hands. But so I want to just kind of take a little wrap up here, and just to mention that as we're made, as we're made in this beautiful way to be this expression of love, and this is a framework, this new understanding we can use to understand ourselves. As we're made, we want to take this as a template, and a pattern, and we want to apply it to our world so that as we're made of systems within systems, our world becomes just another system, so that we live together in alignment of the rainbow, red to violet, and then we color code ourselves, knowing when am I in my root, so we can color code all these things. So ultimately, as we are made with this perfect way to live in balance and harmony and peace, we create our world. And we apply principles from the throat chakra to our world. And that, what does our conscience say, what's right and wrong? What laws are we living by? Are we living by the law of what we reap and sow? And then we're applying the universal laws of nature. So we're applying high consciousness to our planet and what we're doing to the planet. Are we looking after our little planet? Are we looking after our whales and our oceans and our sky and everything? And basically, this provides us with this clear programming of where when we're living in alignment, we're not hurting anybody, we're not poisoning anything. Our intention of how we treat one another is honorable and love. This is who we are. And so, looking to that, of course, we need to make a lot of changes. And that's where you come in. And we have to come in on this together, because we have this existing infrastructure, this concept of capitalism, this governments, the religions. We have all this infrastructure that was established in our history. And a lot of this infrastructure does not serve us. It does not fall into love. It does not bring her into, we're not able to come into alignment with this energetic structure. And so ultimately what we're looking to do here is to create energetic structures, like we're made, that are in alignment with who we are. We're able to bring high conscious reasoning to every issue we face in life, whether it's, abortion, whether it's even the issue with sex, am I a boy or am I a girl? And just to briefly address that, we're all yin and yang energies. It's kind of a tough question. I mean, it's a simple one to figure out because we're male and female already. And we chose, and we have all this hardware and all this life experience associated with the sex that we come in with. And ultimately, we're always navigating these different things. We're navigating the sacral. And ultimately, this concept that we apply high conscious reasoning to what we're doing in life so that we can become our best self. I can be the artist that I want to be, and I know that it's okay for me to be that. So, been talking here a little bit. I'm going to wrap it up, but I just want to tell you that I am available to talk to you about this topic if you would like to talk. And I would just encourage you to check out the symbols, and I'm going to do a webinar where I go into this in a deeper way. And so I would love to have you attend the webinar, and if you would go to ChakraKey Academy or send me an email, because I don't have a big email list going or anything, and I'll put you on that so you can be there, because there's a lot of fun. It's weird. It's a lot of fun feeling the chakras, and then there's also music associated with each chakra, so you can dance the sacral chakra, So it's an amazing study, and God bless us that we have a system that we can look to that leads us to higher consciousness, to greater love, to having friends that are holistically in love together. So God bless you, and see you soon.